strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Hey everybody, it's Bulldog, sporting a little bit of a new look today. After I had surgery on my wrist, I am out of work for the next 14 days or so. So I have decided to start a new content series, 14 days of Star Wars Galaxy of Hero content. So I'm going to be putting out a video every day for the next 14 days, and we're gonna hit lots of things here. So going to do some things that are a little different than that I haven't done in the past, or I haven't done very much of in the past. And one of these is this one right here, where I'm just going to talk about essentially the state of the galaxy and if I think this game is actually dying. So usually I'm doing theory crafting stuff. That's kind of what I consider myself to be good at. So that's what I usually touch on. But I'm going to do more of an opinion vlog type thing about the topic that's kind of been going around a bunch, and I don't have any gameplay for you guys today, so sorry about that. But like I said, we're doing something a little bit different, and I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. But anyways, is Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes dying? We've seen a lot of speculation that it might be. You see a lot of YouTubers starting to promote other games, and a lot of in-game players leaving their guilds. Participation rates kind of going down in the top end guilds a little bit. So is it dying? And the answer is no. This game is not dying, and that claim is absolutely ridiculous. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, maybe kind of ironically, because it doesn't fit with how they see the game. They want to think CG is driving this thing into the ground. They are not. I've complained plenty myself about the decisions they've made the last month or so, last several months even, and I don't want to say I necessarily like the direction everything is going, but it's not dying. There's no other Star Wars competitor out there, and that's what people want. Most people are not here to play this style of game. They're not going to leave for Dragon Champions, even if Dragon Champions might be better. I don't think it is, by the way, but even if you say that the gameplay is better, the developers talk to the community more and engage them, they don't have Star Wars characters. So in the end, it's not going to matter because most people don't like this specific style of game. They like collecting Star Wars characters and going into battle with Star Wars characters. And there's no other place to do that. And CG just had one of their highest grossing months that they've had in quite a while. We'll see the full quarter numbers out. I think EA produces them, I believe, on October 31st, so here in a few days. And I have a feeling it's going to be higher than the previous quarter. Plus, you've got the new movie coming out, the new TV shows coming out. That's all going to drive fan interest into this game because it's Star Wars. And I know there are a lot of veteran players who are leaving the game and leaving their guilds, and people are seeing them leave and thinking, oh, the game's going to die without these players. I don't have any data, but I would say that at this point, CG is probably making less money from the veteran players and more money from the new players coming into the game. I had to start a new account, which I actually stopped, which I'll get into. I've got a future video about that. But one of the things I saw was that there are a lot of spenders joining the new shards. I couldn't even, without hoarding or spending, I struggled to stay in the top 20 and 30 in Arena, settled in about 50. There are lots of people who at level 30, 40 already had Fallen Bastila, Nihilus, these types of characters that you can only get through packs at that level. So they were spending in the game. There are new players consistently coming in that are spending. And I know we talk about the lack of content at endgame for this game, and I've complained about it myself. I want to see new raids. I want to see some new things coming in. If you are a new player just joining this game, you will watch the movie, maybe you love it, maybe you don't, whatever. Maybe you see The Mandalorian, you love that, you want to play a Star Wars game. You find this game, there is a lot to do if you are starting at the beginning. For those of us who have played the game for 4 years and have conquered a lot of that content, it's boring, but there's a lot of legendary characters that new players have to unlock. There's 3 raids to progress through. There's essentially 3 territory battles, about to be 4 territory battles to go through. Grand Arena, Territory Wars, those things are constantly evolving as you're getting through the new characters. There is a lot to do for a new player, and there's a lot for them to spend on. They are going to spend money in this game. It is not going to die. a lot of your in-game characters, we don't actually, or in-game characters, in-game players, we don't actually spend a lot of money on these characters because we're ahead of the game on the farms. I know I was able to get General Skywalker without spending anything because I've got all the characters farmed. I don't have to. I can essentially hoard because I don't have to spend on getting the last legendary I missed or whatever it is. Once you get ahead of the game, it is very easy to stay ahead of the game without spending any money or spending very low amounts of money. So a lot of your veteran players don't actually spend a lot of money. They're not the ones driving the game necessarily. And sure, you've definitely got some whales that are at the top. But I feel like, and again, I don't have any data on this, but I just feel like a lot of your new people, a lot of your spending comes from lower levels because there is so much content there and it's so easy to spend. And people say you don't get enough money. There's no value in spending in this game, and it is very expensive. So I've seen people comparing it to Dragon Champions and showing what you get over there versus what you get over here. It's very different spending on a brand new game or a brand new account than it is spending on this game that's been around for 4 years and what all you can get. I was kind of surprised at how good the value is spending early in this game because that's what these games want you to do. They entice you early to spend so that you kind of break the ice with spending, and then you spend a little bit, and then it kind of becomes a habit, and you're more likely to spend more. Did you know there's a pack at the very beginning where you can get, I believe it's 40 Dooku shards and 40 Talia shards for $4? Normally we're spending, if you want to max out a marquee character, it costs like $300 or something like that. You get 40 Dooku shards and 40 Talia shards for $4 is a heck of a deal. And if anybody was just jumping into this game and saying, "Oh, look how much value you get for these characters," that's what, a seventh of or an eighth of your farm or whatever for $4. I mean, that sounds like you're going to be able to max out a character for $30 or $40. And no, it doesn't actually end up that way, even though Dooku is one of the elite characters in the game now, with territory battles being a focus around him and on the Separatist teams. So you get a very good character for a very cheap price, but the prices don't stay that way. And it's going to be like that in Dragon Champions as well. Once they induce your spending there and the game progresses, it's going to get more expensive and more expensive. And that's just how these things work. So I'm not concerned about competition from Dragon Champions or some of these other games that come out. I'm hoping to myself be covering another game as well, but that doesn't mean I don't like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes or that I'm going to be leaving it or anything like that. And I've been banned twice and they still can't get me to leave. They're trying to kick me out and I won't leave because I love Star Wars and I do actually love this game and the theory crafting in this game. As much as it might not seem like it the way I complain, but no, this game is not dying. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. And people are going to continue to say that this game is dying every time we come across one of these periods of times when the player base really isn't all that happy, which happens all the time. We go through these ups and downs as there are periods that are more free to play friendly. There's when new stuff gets released, it's more pay to win friendly, and you get all these things. And CG is always going to be trying to pushing us a little bit further as far as how much we will spend. Does anybody remember the packs? I forget what the packs were called. When Director Krennic and Death Trooper were released, and those things, it was kind of like a marquee pack, except the value was even less, and you had to buy them both together, so you had to max out 2 characters at once. You didn't know which character you were getting when you bought the pack. It was, I think, one or the other. Somehow they were tied together, so that it was about twice as expensive, and you had to buy both characters. You couldn't just buy one of them. And the whales kind of rioted, and nobody spent very much money on it. They didn't make that much money, so they scrapped it and they backed it back down. If the way they're doing these 5-star releases and the GET currency, if that doesn't make more money, then they will back down and they'll stop doing it. That's just how these games work. I know a lot of people hate to talk about gaming in that way, but that's just the reality. Money drives these things. And if we keep complaining about it, but then we buy it anyway, they're just going to continue to do it, and then they might push it even farther just to see how far they can push it before their sales drop a little bit, and then they'll back it off to that kind of sweet spot. So it's normal for them to test us and see what exactly they can do and how much they can get from us. So if the direction that they're going now ends up being less profitable, they will back it down and come back to what we want. So the only way to actually get what we want is not to spend, but each individual person can't really control that. So I wouldn't get too caught up into any of this. Just know the game is not dying, and buy what you are comfortable buying. If you are happy with the product that they're producing, then and you're okay spending that money and you enjoy it, then go out and buy it. And if you're not, then don't. And hopefully everybody else will kind of echo or feel similar ways, and it'll be a game that you enjoy. But when it comes down to it, this is a Star Wars game, and Star Wars has a huge fan base, and new players are going to keep spending money on this game, and it's not going anywhere. It's just not. We've been hearing people say for 2-3 years this game's dying, and they'll probably continue saying it for another 3, 4, 5 years until, I guess, eventually they'll be right eventually. It's going to end eventually, whether that's 3 years down the line, 5 years, 10 years. But there's no reason to think that date is anytime soon. There's just not. So I'm done with my rant for today. There's going to be, I know this was very different than my normal video, no gameplay going on in the background for me to talk about, but I'm going to have at least 13 more videos over the next 13 days. One video per day, maybe even more. At first, I thought that might be kind of a tall task, and now I've kind of gotten into it and planning what I'm going to do, and I'm already up to like day 8 or 9 with video ideas, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want to wait 8 days to put this out. I want to put it out now. So I don't know. We'll see how many I do, but I'm promising 14 videos in 14 days. This is number 1, 13 more to come. You're going to see more on the P3 Bounty Hunter raid. I showed how to do a solo with that. Used Relic 7 characters. I'm going to show what happens if you used just Gear 13 Relic 1 characters or Gear 12 characters. We'll touch on that a little bit, talk about how to mod them, go into more detail on that. I think I might have another way to solo a different phase of the raid. I would like to get into that. I was hoping to have that out last week and ran into a little bit of a hitch. I was kind of a moron and missed a pretty key mechanic that ended up throwing off the run. But we made some adjustments, and I think we might be able to get that, which would be exciting. I'm going to do some other things that I've never done before. 3 or 4 months ago, I put together a video that I didn't actually put out because I didn't think it was worthwhile. That was just me developing my own character kit and just kind of having fun with that and what this character might look like, a character from the books. As many of you know, I love the Star Wars books, so I thought I'd kind of try to bring one of them into the game, and just as a fun idea. But I ended up scrapping that because I didn't think anybody really wanted to see it. That it didn't have anything to do with the actual game itself, since that's not in there, and we know CG is not going to listen to me. But I might dive back into that and put that out and just do some different things like that and see what you guys like, what you don't like. So give me some feedback, either positive, you want to see more of this, negative, say this sucks, stick to what you're good at, and I won't be offended by that at all. I can take criticism, and I do not mind it whatsoever. I like to listen to it, and it actually helps make my videos better. So I've got some time on my hands this week, so we're gonna see what all I can get to, and so be sure to subscribe and stay up to date on everything. And if you don't like it, it's only for 2 weeks, so don't worry. I do have to go back to my real job. I don't really make very much money off of these videos, with the exceptions. I have had I've got one that's almost at 100,000 views, one of my C3PO P3 raid. So I have made some money off of that one. But for the most part, each video I do makes like less than $10. So I don't make a lot of money doing this. This is just for fun. So I'm gonna have some fun with it for 2 weeks and then see how it goes. So thanks a lot for tuning in, guys, and you're gonna be seeing a lot of me.